Hi there everybody, and welcome to my tips and tricks guide for ideology. I'm Icon, and this video is dedicated to give you a couple of gameplay ideas and strategies to improve your gameplay experience with ideology. Because with the installment of this new DLC, I personally felt like the game got a significant difficulty spike, and this video will cover up a few ideas how to mitigate that, or how to make your gameplay a little bit smoother, because my mistakes shall be something you can learn out of. So before we begin, I want to pinpoint that this is your screw ideology, I want to play with the new content without hassling too much around button. Because when you select play classic, your people get a new belief, which is a minimum amount of belief. If, by the way, ideology is completely new to you, I did a beginner's tutorial which covers up all that confusion here. If you're struggling with that, check out the other video. And we're going to cover this as a option, which is really cool because this is a bare bones religion. You have only the rules that apply to the base game, which you are used to, like they don't like insect meat, they hate corpses, and all these things, but you also get those juicy extra leader and moral guide roles, which make your gameplay a lot more fun. So apart from that, there is nothing really important to say about that. I just wanted to pinpoint that as an option if this is totally overwhelming for you, or you just want to install ideology because of all the other cool things like the Goranlan pots and whatnot. But enough of that. I just want to give these presets here an honorable mention. This is really cool. If you have problems with designing your own Ideoligion, this is really good. Just go check it out. It's very self-explanatory and will help you a ton to get a grip on how Ideoligions play out. But enough of that. This is not. This is just what I wanted to complete to make the rest of the video make more sense. We're going to go into custom Ideoligions, and the first thing that I want to talk about, which is really fun, is the fact that you can adapt all other Ideoligions in the game at the beginning here. So you can affect all their precepts and everything you want. You can even change the narrative if you want to. So at the end of the story, this means you don't need to create your custom Ideoligion. You can instead hack the other people's Ideoligion to be that one you want. This way you can avoid the whole conversion thing, and this is a pretty decent way to start out if you want to start out with like naked brutality and you want to have people of your faith flocking towards you instead of having to convert everybody, which is kind of like annoying when you're starting out with only one person. But when we want to create a customs religion here, it doesn't matter. These backgrounds here are mostly only unlocking styles and here some rituals, but just pick whatever your fluff is getting you towards to. Over here with the memes, I want to talk a little bit about that. Be careful with the amount of overall impact here. When the game tells you that your overall impact is extreme, it means that. Like, every single of these memes alters your Ideologion in a way that, simplified, to put it into simple words, the higher the overall impact, the more ways to piss off your colonists by not living according to their Ideologion. So let's do something really crazy. Let's say we do some rancher, cannibal, transhumanist, nudists. So yeah, we have now a overall impact of 11. That's perfect as an example what you should not do. Because when you check this out here, there's a lot of precepts that are now required here. And you see, due to the nudist meme, we can't go for more than pants. And if we just go back like that, whoops. Oh, come on, you guys. Don't be so mean to me. That was a misclick. And if we just leave the nudist meme away out of our crazy shenanigans now, there's all of a sudden no clothing restrictions anymore, and we can configure those precepts more thoroughly. Long story short, the higher this number, the hotter your game gets, seriously. And if you feel like your people have constant mental breakdowns ever since Ideology hit town, it might be that you picked a too high overall impact Ideologion, and you should probably trickle that down until you have found a way to enjoy yourself. Try to find memes to begin with that reflect your own playstyle. Also, if you have severe mood problems, that was for me personally one of the most one of the biggest issues there, because that it all stacks up quite quickly. You know, if you just have ranchers with high life, for example, it is already hard enough to do that. So as you see here, drug use is essential. This means if they start not taking any drugs, they will grow unhappy. They just do. And with the meat eating, which comes from the rancher meme, as you see here, you can't drink. You can't remove that. But what you can do is how much debuff your people get. So another tip here, if you notice that these things kick you too hard and you want to still have those stoned cow-eating people, you can just lower the difficulty of the precepts, which is really helpful in general. And also keep in mind that a lot of these precepts are editable to your own liking. So you see, you might be not by default be able to tell your people to ignore corpses, but many of these people, you know, you can't just go for cannibalism being acceptable. There's a lot of good things that you can do here, and well, you can also make your life harder by putting that into the preferred pod, where people grow unhappy if they don't have that. But what I actually want to showcase here, these precepts here give you options to make your life easier. And if you randomize your precepts like this, there's a high chance that these down here will always be standardized. You check that out. You see, there's almost never a other configuration for organ harvest. There's just most of the time it is despised. So you can configure your gameplay even if they don't necessarily go well together. Okay, but what I wanted to talk about next were the roles and how much good things you can do with that. The leader and the moral guide are fixed, and the specialists are always connected to your memes. So due to the ranching, we have the animal specialist and the plant specialist and so on and so forth. You could consider these guys as the total experts in that one department. So if you want to have a drug colony, you should possibly add in a plant specialist and so on. This is really powerful to focus the idea of your playthrough, and you should really use those rules, and it's really a lot of fun to do so. Also keep in mind that you can give them a certain headgear to reflect their status. So these are, well, what I personally like to do is I like to put up things that can be made out of leather, because a lot of these, like the head wrap or such, can be only made out of cloth, and this can give you some moral debuffs that can be averted. But, well, beyond that, choose your own liking. The rituals are the next point which I wanted to talk about, because there's a lot of good things that you can do with that. Rituals can be easy peasy buff things that you can abuse quite nicely in this game. So while, for example, the symbol burning will always need you to do something to get that ritual going, so just like the smoke leaf circle, there are certain rituals like the dance party and the social festival which don't need anything except for a room. And okay, focus objects, Shrine of Dreams, ritual spot. Basically everything which can be done at a ritual spot doesn't need any preparations, and this way you can give yourself easily accessible rituals for your Ideoligion, which influence the moods of your people positively. And also you can configure additional rewards. Use this. Random Recruit has a chance of being one of your own Ideoligion, farm animals, Psi-Focus Recharge, Ancient Complex Discoveries. I really like to do this for events that I can't easily pull off. Like, especially the Random Recruit can be really good. Tweak that to your own liking. There's one thing I want to emphasize especially, the starting condition. Dated starting conditions are basically only a difficulty level. If you want to have a easy peasy life, you just edit these things and make it doable every time. Then it's up to you when the holiday will come or not. When you randomize these things, the game obviously doesn't pick the easiest way for you, so it's quite good to know. The problem here about the funerals that I just want to showcase, funeral is generic for every Ideologion and you can't edit anything to that. Too bad, but yeah. Buildings, well, there's one thing that I want to talk about. The buildings here, every Ideologion must have a shrine if they have rituals that accord to that. And if you put in a ritual, for example, like the symbol burning, you have to have an item according to that. Ideograms are really cool looking, but they have the downside that they always need steel. If you feel like you won't have much steel in your playthrough, don't pick them. Go for altars instead. They can be made out of stone too. Pretty nifty to know. So every time you want to go for symbol burning things, keep in mind that you need timber for that. So maybe you don't want to go for a symbol burning in, let's say, your latest sea ice playthrough. But jokes aside, what I really like to do as well is I like to use the weapon sets here to a certain degree. My personal favorites are not these, because these are really bad. I want to showcase this as a really bad pick. Like, noble weapons are bolt action rifles and sniper rifles, and you disable basically all the shotguns. If you do it like that, actually, you get a way better result. I wanted to showcase this because this is just extreme. Short-range weapons like the shotguns here are insanely valuable, and the only downside there is that your people will be unhappy if you use bolt-action rifles, sniper rifles, or needle guns. Seriously. Bolt-action rifles are really good all-around weapons. No offense. Sniper rifles are also pretty good, but they are very situational weapons. Shotguns, though, there's nothing bad about them. The weapon things here, mostly you make your life harder, but there's no shame in not selecting anything. With the relics, well, pick something you want to use, because getting a relic is a really long procedure, and it's really cool if you pick up relics that either are easy to store, like, I don't know, a chalice, or items you want to use because they are really good, like, for example, a Holy Rifle of Dreams. Pick something that you want to have and avoid things that you don't want to have unless you want to have a challenge. Venerated animals, well, there's not much you can do about them, except you pick venerated animals that are easy to breed. But, big warning, your people will grow really unhappy if you're killing your venerated animals. So, to do it smart, sterilize your venerated animals to avoid insane population rises, or sell them if you don't want to go for that. Alright, so beyond that, I want to go in-game, because this is all these are all the good ideas. Well, no, there's one thing more before we go into the in-game section of this video. When you go for styles, check them out thoroughly. Styles are, as you see here, the Islamic styles only influencing sculptures, you can select several styles, up to 3 of them. Yes, you can be an Islamic, Christian, Hinduistic religion. I like that. But what's even more important is there you can select a mix of styles which unlock you a lot of different items. Why am I emphasizing that so much? Your people grow happy if they are in the vicinity of items that are fitting to your style. And basically, the more items you have for your style, the more mood bonus you can stack up. So, that's that. See you guys in game. Now, when we're looking at our Ideoligion in-game, this is one of my current playthroughs. This is a pretty restrictive thing. There's a tiny little thing in this system, and I'm not sure if it will stay like that, but for now, you can just assign people to their roles as you want to. Like, sometimes you need a leader, and sometimes you need a priest. Especially when you're starting out with a colony, it's really, really important that you have a priest at the beginning, but also you can use a leader. If you happen to be in a situation like I am quite often and you don't have too many socially capable people, you can just swap around, because the priest is extremely good with this convert skill to convert people to your own faction. You can imprison people, convert them there, just like you recruit them, but you can't just use the conversion ritual on top of that, and then afterwards, when you're done with that, make that person back to your leader. And that's really, really, really cool. You shouldn't abuse that too much, because at the end of the day, you have to do a couple of things for your roles to keep them happy. For example, in this scenario, she's constantly unhappy because I didn't find time to craft her a head wrap, because we didn't happen to have any cloth. You see the problem there. Swapping roles is awesome if you need to. There's the option. Just wanted to showcase that. Beyond that, I have mentioned a lot of things in the first part of the video. The biggest thing you need to watch out for in Ideology is how much more important the social status has grown. Like, social was such an unimportant and measly stat, then royalty did a little bit, and now with Ideology, you want to have socially talented people, not these slobs that I have here, because you basically want to have at least 2 people passionate about social, one for your leader spot and one for your priest spot. And guess what? Every Ideologian has a priest and a leader. Everything else is just optional, so check out those social people. They are way more important than they were before. Beyond that, I really like to emphasize that you don't need much for your rituals. You can also use just a impressive room to get started to begin with, and then you just work up from there. Okay, there's a ton of other things that you can do, and this video is only a basic tips and tricks guide for a reason, so feel free to spread your knowledge in the comments section below. I'd be really, really happy to know what you guys do well or favorable with your Ideoligions, and what kind of cool tricks you have discovered, because the DLC is pretty new and I'm still myself collecting knowledge still. And beyond that, leave a thumbs up on that video if you found that helpful to make it accessible to more people. And last but not least, my channel does daily content. Go check it out, leave a subscription and turn on the bell if you want to stay notified. Also, give a look into the description box down there, where you'll find my Twitch channel, my Discord channel, and other ways to support me directly if you think that I am worthy of your support. Well, whatever you think or not, let me thank you one more time for watching this video, which means a ton to me. And see you guys next time, and enjoy Ideoligions. Bye-bye!